Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome to the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel. Today, I've got a special treat for you. I've been surfing social media and Facebook, found a really nice looking cook that one of our Facebook followers did, so we're going to let him introduce the video.
Hello, my name is Bjorn from Sweden. Today John will show you my recipe for cast iron pan cinnamon rolls on the Kamado Joe. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Bjorn. We're going to do Bjorn's cast iron cinnamon rolls, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do in a small saucepan is I'm going to melt about 3.5 ounces of butter. And after our butter's melted, I'm going to add 2 cups of milk. And I'm just going to heat this until that milk reaches about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, after that's warmed up to, like I said, about 90 degrees, we are going to dump that into the bowl of my KitchenAid mixer. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and I'm going to mix that up in there and let that yeast dissolve, and I'm going to let this sit here for about 15 minutes or so before we move on. Okay, now to this we are going to add 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and about 1 tablespoon of honey, and we're going to combine that. Okay, now that I've got that combined, I'm going to start working in some flour. I have 5 cups of flour in another bowl here, and I'm going to add probably 4 1/4 to 4 1/2 cups of this while we mix. And then I'm just going to let this mix until it fully incorporates, until that dough is pulling away from the side of the bowl cleanly. Okay, that's about the consistency we're looking for, so I'm going to lower that off and get the dough off the hook here, and I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and we're going to let that dough rise for 30 to 45 minutes or so until it doubles in size. And while that dough's rising up, we're going to get our filling ready. So in another small saucepan, I'm going to take 4 ounces or 1 stick of butter, and we're going to get that melted. And after we get that butter melted, we're going to add 1/2 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and we're going to mix that up until it's completely combined. And after we get that completely combined, we're just going to set it aside. Okay, I have built a fire in the firebox of my Kamado Joe Classic, and I've set the divide and conquer flexible cooking rack in place here with the accessory rack in the top position, and I am going to set both halves of my heat deflector on that accessory rack. And we're going to cook in this upper position when we put these on, but I am going to cook on the pizza stone, and I'm not going to put the pizza stone on until we're actually ready to cook. So we're going to let the grill warm up to about 450 degrees. In order to get our Classic up to 450 degrees, I'm going to leave the bottom vent fully open, and I'm going to slide the slider on the top vent here about halfway and see where it settles in, and if I need to warm it up, I'll move it this way, or if I need to cool it down, I'll close it this way. So actually I'm going to go about the 3rd notch there, and we'll just keep our eye on it as this grill warms up, and we're going to stabilize at 450. Okay, I've got my big wooden cutting board out here, and I'm going to take the rest of that flour that we had left over that didn't go in here, and we're going to dump our dough out here that's been rising. I'm going to kind of get some of that flour on my hands, and we're going to kind of spread that dough, and we're going to cut it in half with a dough knife. This is a 2-batch recipe, so I'm going to cut that half off. We're going to set this other half of this dough aside. So from here, I'm going to roll this dough out, and we're going to make a fairly large rectangle with it that's about 1/4 inch thick. And once we get it rolled out about like that, we're going to take about half of our filling that we made and put it on here, and we're going to spread that out all over the surface. And then we are just going to roll it up. I'm going to roll it up from the long side, and then I'm just going to slide this to the back of my board here. I've got my 10-inch cast iron skillet here oiled up, so we're going to cut these off at about 1.5 inches thick And we're going to put these around this pan. And then we're going to get into the second half of the dough. And we're going to repeat that same process. And then we'll cut down the rest of these and finish filling this pan. And once we have these all in the pan, we're going to let these sit and let these rise for another 30 or 45 minutes. Okay, while those rolls are rising, we're going to make the final ingredient here. We're going to put together a little fresh cream cheese frosting. So I'm going to add 1 stick, or that's 4 ounces of butter. We're going to add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and we're going to cream that together in the mixer. And when that's creamed together, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of Amaretto, which will give this a really nice aroma and really elegant flavor. We're going to mix that in. And once that's mixed in, we are going to work in 2 cups of powdered sugar. And when that's fully combined, we'll just set that aside. Man, I wish you could smell that. Okay, after these have puffed up a bit, I'm going to hit these with an egg wash. I just took 1 egg and I kind of beat it, and I put maybe a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of water. So we're going to brush that over the tops of these rolls. And then we're going to take this to the grill. Okay, we're running about 450 here, and I did decide to go ahead and preheat the pizza stone with the grill. So it's been on here, it's hot. I'm going to set the pan right here in the middle of the stone. We're going to close the lid and let these cook. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take, so I'll let you know when we come back. Okay guys, we've been going almost 20 minutes, and these things are looking beautiful here. So I'm going to take these off the grill. We're going to take them inside and let them cool for a little bit before we finish them off. While these guys are still warm, we're going to dab on some of this cream cheese frosting we made on the tops of these. Okay, so we're going to let these cool a little while longer, and then we're going to come extract one from the pan and have a taste. Alright guys, I've taken one of these out of the pan, and I really wish you could smell this. This cinnamon is overpowering my man cave down here right now. So let's have a taste of this. Bjorn, that is money. Fantastic recipe. It's beautiful. The only deviation we made here from Bjorn's original recipe is the cream cheese frosting. His original recipe called for sprinkling a little bit of pearl sugar, which is a very coarse sugar on top of this, actually before it goes on the grill. But I talked to him about that and told him I was probably going to do the cream cheese frosting. That is amazing, folks. You've got to give this a try. Click on the subscribe button here if you're watching us on YouTube today, and subscribe to our channel so you can get updates each time we publish a new video. And follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Kamado Joe. Follow us on Twitter at Kamado Joe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.